Hey, thanks for watching Family Feud. Now, stay tuned for your local news coming up next.
You're watching Atlanta 69. Now, the most important stories from across the country and here at home. Atlanta, your news starts now.
Good evening, I'm Dick Brennan. Developing now, multiple water main breaks are leading to some big disruptions in the city tonight. Atlanta issued a boil water advisory this afternoon for a large portion of the city, including downtown. This is crews work to repair 3 water main breaks. During this time, homes and businesses in the affected areas will have water outages or low water pressure. Because of the issues, city and county facilities in the downtown area closed early, and major tourist attractions such as the zoo and the Georgia Aquarium had to be evacuated. It's not clear how long it will take for crews to fix those breaks. Former President Trump says he'll appeal his conviction in his hush money case. Atlanta Now News reporter Alice Gaynor has been following the trial from the beginning. She has a new reaction to Trump's guilty verdict.
One day after he was found guilty, former President Trump continued to slam the trial.
I'm under a gag order, nasty gag order.
That limited gag order prevents him from talking about court staffers, prosecution aides, and relatives of all of those mentioned. He referred to witness Michael Cohen, though not by name.
If I wrote down and paid a lawyer, and by the way, this was a highly qualified lawyer. Now, I'm not allowed to use his name because of the gag order. But, you know, he's a sleazebag.
He also talked about defense witness Robert Costello.
And the reason that Bob Costello acted a little bit upset, which I think he has a right to, was that every question he was being asked was being objected to.
Trump did not speak about the jury of his peers who voted to convict. 12 Manhattanites deliberated for 2 days. Trump was found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records related to a payment made to adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election to keep her quiet about an alleged sexual encounter. Trump did not take questions after he spoke. He did not answer when I asked,
"Are you worried about sentencing?"
Trump could face prison time, but many legal experts say that's unlikely.
I don't see personally him being sentenced to prison time. I personally think there will be heavy fines and some sort of heavy probation.
Trump says he is appealing. Legal experts say Stormy Daniels' testimony that Trump's team called salacious may be one area the defense is looking at.
The defense asked for a mistrial right after that testimony, and I think we can expect to see that again in an appellate brief.
Trump continues to lash out at President Biden, who pushed back today, noting it was a state, not federal case.
Donald Trump was given every opportunity to defend himself, and it's reckless, it's dangerous, it's irresponsible for anyone to say this was rigged just because they don't like the verdict.
Trump insists he did nothing wrong and did not have an affair. His son Eric was at the news conference, so too was defense attorney Todd Blanche, but he did not speak to the cameras. Alice Gaynor, Atlanta Now News.
All right, Alice, thank you. In the next half hour, we take a closer look at the potential political ramifications to the former president's conviction. President Biden says there's a proposal on the table for a ceasefire in Gaza in exchange for every single hostage being held by Hamas released. But the president acknowledges it's not clear the terror group and Israel will be able to reach a deal.
Israel has offered a comprehensive new proposal.
President Biden announced a plan that Israel has put on the table for Hamas.
One that brings all the hostages home, ensures Israel's security, creates a better day after in Gaza without Hamas in power.
Biden said the first phase of the proposed deal would include a 6-week full and complete ceasefire, a withdrawal of Israeli forces from all populated areas of Gaza, and the release of a number of hostages, including women, the elderly, and the wounded, in exchange for the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. A second phase would include the release of all remaining living hostages, and the temporary ceasefire would become permanent if Hamas lives up to its commitment.
Finally, in phase 3, a major reconstruction plan for Gaza would commence, and any final remains of hostages who've been killed would be returned to their families.
The president said Hamas is no longer able to carry out another October 7th style attack, and Biden's remarks came as the Israeli military confirmed that its troops are now operating in central parts of the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The president indicated that some in Israel would oppose a peace deal.
I've urged the leadership in Israel to stand behind this deal, despite whatever pressure comes.
Now, Hamas says that before any agreement is reached, the fighting must come to an end. And the office of the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, says he will not agree to an end to the war until all of Israel's objectives are achieved. We want to switch gears and talk about the weather. Expect cloudy skies tonight. And meteorologist Tammy Souza is tracking the chance for storms this weekend. She joins us now with your forecast, Tammy.
It's going to be partly cloudy overnight tonight. Still a very pleasant night. I call it good sleeping weather. We'll have light winds and temperatures will bottom out in the low 60s overnight. So no need for umbrellas and maybe even toss the windows open if you can. So partly cloudy skies for tonight. We'll see that when you wake up tomorrow morning. Here we are 2 o'clock in the morning and then a few extra clouds by 8 o'clock. Now there will be some rain knocking on the door, but it does stay knocking on the door. You notice it stays to the west of us. Here we are at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Doesn't look like it's going to move in until tomorrow night. So for tonight, 63 in Atlanta, 64 in northwest Georgia, and 53 in the mountains. Partly cloudy skies all around. I'll have your full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
A man accused of killing a nursing student whose body was found on the University of Georgia campus pleaded not guilty to murder and other charges. Prosecutors allege that Jose Ibarra killed Lakenhope Riley in February after attacking her while she was on the run. Police say the killing appeared to be in a random attack. Her death. He entered the U.S. illegally in 2022 and is allowed to stay in the country to pursue his immigration case. The judge said this morning that he's hoping for a trial in the fall. The oldest living survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre is visiting Metro Atlanta this weekend, 103 years after one of the deadliest racial attacks in U.S. history. The survivor shared her story with our Valencia Jones.
For 110-year-old mother Viola Ford Fletcher, memories of the horrifying 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre are still just as vivid as they were when she was just 7 years old.
Being afraid and frightened, hearing people screaming and being shot and killed, houses burning.
As the oldest known survivor, she remembers what it was like before a white mob torched the Black Greenwood district of Tulsa, known as Black Wall Street, killing as many as 300 people and forcing the community to leave their homes and thriving businesses behind.
Mother, daddy, 6 children. We live there happy in a nice neighborhood with families and children to play with schools and churches.
Her family and others lived in tents in nearby towns, responding to racism and hate by rebuilding with resilience and determination. And in Mother Fletcher's case, spreading love and joy for more than 100 years through the fight for civil rights and even now in 2024.
It's just a blessing, you know, for me to be living still with family members.
She traveled from Tulsa to Atlanta with her grandson. Black Wall Street Black Business Expo. The Financial Literacy Institute is hosting the event on June 1st on the Tulsa Massacre anniversary.
This event specifically also highlights Black-owned businesses and our ability to revive the spirit of Black Wall Street.
Organizers say the goal is to affect social change, with vendors, awards recognizing community members, and an inaugural parade honoring Mother Fletcher as the Grand Marshal.
If she can still move with grace and love in her heart, we can do the same thing.
Her grandson gave away her secret to long life.
You need to know how to manage stress. Worry about the things that you can control. The things that you can't control, you can't worry about those things.
Faith the size of a mustard seed to recover from a massacre and pave the way for more thriving Black businesses.
That's what we really, would like to see again.
The parade starts tomorrow at 8 a.m. in College Park on Main Street, followed by the Business Expo in Riverdale at the Essence venue. For more details, you can visit tfliinc.org. Valencia Jones, Atlanta Now News.
More information now about Mother Viola Ford Fletcher. Her family tells us she is one of the country's oldest living authors. She released a book called Don't Let Them Bury My Story. Her grandson manages the Viola Ford Fletcher Foundation, which provides health resources and other assistance in the U.S. and in Africa.
One thing a rich man can't buy is more time on earth. So you really need to take care of your health, your financial health, your mental health, emotional health, and absolutely your physical health.
It's a blessing to be able to meet somebody that's 110 years old, that is in their right mind, that is the oldest author in the world, that has so much joy and happiness in her heart despite the things that have happened to her.
They're both encouraging people to learn more about the foundation and more about the book. Next at 8, and tonight's Hope Now. A California teenager who beat the odds had to miss his graduation. How the heart transplant recipient was still able to earn his diploma.
Tonight at 9, 4 girls murdered. 2 men are convicted, but the convictions are overturned. Can DNA help find the killers?
The killers are still out there. I know for a fact I know one of them.
Watch an updated 48 Hours tonight.
Dentists would charge you double if you had big teeth like what?
Giraffe.
Family Feud.
Okay.
Watch tonight at 10 on Atlanta 69. You're watching Atlanta 69.
In tonight's Hope Now, a special day for a California teenager who survived so much in his young life, including a miracle heart transplant just days ago. Because of that, he missed his high school graduation. But as reporter Joy Benedict explains, hospital workers found a unique way to celebrate.
It wasn't the walk this high school senior had planned for. But as Joseph Bomarito Ottman heard his name, it was a victory in education and in health.
I wasn't even expecting it. They just woke me up. They said, like, put your cap and gown on.
You see, Joseph was born with a heart condition he's been fighting his entire life, which is why he is here at the Loma Linda University Children's Hospital.
I know it's called congestive heart failure.
The congestive heart failure, only half of a heart caused a lot of difficulties for Joseph. So learning difficulties, writing difficulties.
For this 18-year-old, it was far from easy. He had 4 heart surgeries before the age of 4 and ended up in foster care at the age of 6. He then found a loving family with parents who are very proud.
He never wavered in trying hard. He had to try harder than the other children.
But the reason this young man couldn't make his graduation at Vista Murrieta High School wasn't because he was sick. It's because he was given the gift of life, a new heart.
When I first got on the list, they have a transplant list. They said it could take up to years, like decades for people to get new hearts. And it took me like a couple of months. And here I am with a new heart.
He didn't just graduate. He got a heart transplant 5 days ago.
Dr. Natalie Schweisch is his pediatric cardiologist.
We found a wonderful heart for him just recently from a very generous donor.
So in this room with masks on, his family, his hospital heroes and friends honored his milestone as his teacher handed him his diploma.
I could not have done this by myself. I don't think anybody could have done this. So this is all like a culmination of many people's efforts.
A mark of a new beginning and a hopefully healthy future for a young man who's not only a high school grad, but a champion in life.
This is giving me like a second wind, not as much as a second chance, but a second win. Now I get to have a new drive, a new passion again.
A champion in life. That's great. That was Joy Benedict reporting. Joseph will need to stay at the hospital for a few weeks. His next plan is college. He's heading to Mount San Jacinto in the fall. Good luck, Joseph. Let's turn to the weather now. We saw people out enjoying their Friday. This is video we can tell you from the a mix of sun and clouds. Meteorologist Tammy Souza is back with what you can expect for the all-important weekend, Tim.
It's going to be a quiet night tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to see partly cloudy skies, a little bit of sunshine, but at times the clouds will be drifting through. We're going to see showers moving in as early as tomorrow night, and then on Sunday, well, that's the lesser of the 2 weekend days. We'll see showers and even some thunderstorms rolling through. They will be scattered, so it won't be a giant line that sits on top of us. And next week, things are going to be relatively unsettled with the chance of a shower or storm almost every day. The severe threat is once again to the west of us over overnight, and we are going to be watching it start to approach. By the time that we get into Saturday, maybe an isolated shower or storm, and this would just be the garden variety, and that mainly is going to be for Saturday night, carrying over into Sunday. Right now, we're not looking at a severe threat for the weekend. What we do have is high pressure. That has kept everything at bay. It's brought us plenty of sunshine, and watch what it does. As this system approaches, it slowly moves eastward, but that system is going to have to arc up and over this high pressure, and it will bring us rain, this system that comes in, but it isn't going to bring us as much as if that front sat on top of us. It looks like things will be quiet, at least for tomorrow. We get the showers in here on your Sunday and then again on Monday. So a closer look. Here we go. We've got some clouds in there overnight, a little bit of clearing overnight and into early tomorrow morning, and then we see the showers and storms approaching. But at 3 o'clock, they're not in the area yet. Widely scattered as we head through the evening and into the early hours of your Sunday. So you can see this isn't a giant line of showers and storms. Early in the morning, bigger storms to the south of Macon, but we are going to be looking at a little line of isolated storms coming through for your Sunday, and then we're going to see Sunday afternoon once again scattered showers and storms, and that's going to continue on into your Monday. As far as the rain chances, again, they're fairly low for your Saturday night, your Sunday and Monday, but it really does pick up on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so we'll need to keep a close eye on that. 63 overnight tonight. It will be partly cloudy out there. The winds will be very light and out of the east. I like to say it's good sleeping weather. If you can toss the window open, do it. It isn't as humid as it's going to be as we get into the weekend. 78 for tomorrow, partly sunny, a little bit on the breezy side with those southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Then we take a look at the rest of the weekend and into next week. It becomes rather unsettled. 81 with a shower storm Sunday, and then a chance of a shower storm almost every day next week.
Next in sports, it's game 1 for Georgia in the NCAA College Baseball Regionals. We'll show you how the Bulldogs did.
Watch America's Court weekdays at 11 on Atlanta 69.
Tonight in sports, the Georgia Bulldogs don't have far to go for the team's NCAA College Baseball Tournament game.
Time for Atlanta Now Sports.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sam Crenshaw. National tournament time for college baseball, and the Georgia Bulldogs have an advantage. They get to sleep in their own beds as top seed of the Athens Regional. First up against Army, and the Black Knights strike first. This is Chris Barr going out to right field, losing that one, a 2-run homer. Army has the lead. Georgia strikes back in the bottom of the first inning, and they strike back in a big way with this guy, Charlie Condon, number 36 on the season, cutting the Army lead to 2-1. Go to the third inning now, and Army is going to get more. This is Colson Titus, and this one to left field just keeps going, gets out, and Army is up by a score of 4-1. Go to the 6th inning. Slate Alford inning, this sacrifice fly will drive home the go-ahead run. Georgia's back up at 8-7. Now Army's threatening in the 9th inning, but Georgia closes the door. Dogs get the win, 8-7. They win the first game at the Athens Regional. Well, Atlanta United broke out of a 9-game winless streak with an amazing win at Inter Miami. Now to reclaim the home field this Sunday, as they'll be back inside the Benz. It will be a full-capacity Mercedes-Benz Stadium Sunday afternoon when Charlotte FC comes to call. Now, the Five Stripes will be going for their first home win since beating Chicago back on March 31st, potentially a pivotal time in the season. You don't want to lose the momentum from the Miami win.
The moment of the season for us is not easy. I cannot say that we're already past that. You know, we are still in the bottom of the standings in our conference. That's not good. We need to keep going. We need to keep fighting as we are doing. But I think it was a good reward for a team that was fighting and playing good in so many games. And when you do very good and you don't get the reward, frustration comes and lack of confidence comes. And what I love about the team is they were very resilient.
Well, the Hawks landing the top draft pick is a consolation for not making the NBA playoffs. And some players from the area have enjoyed the postseason. Jaylen Brown led Boston to the NBA Finals. A Wheeler High School grad averaged over 29 points per game, earning Eastern Conference Final MVP honors. Now, Boston will meet the Dallas Mavericks in the finals. The Mavs eliminate Minnesota, but you can't blame Anthony Edwards, who's spirit prep before UGA led the T-Wolves to an upset of defending champion Denver in the Western Conference semifinals. Next up for him, the Olympic team, Team USA. Well, the rainy week in Paris had played havoc with the French Open. Atlanta's Christopher Eubanks and doubles partner Evan King waited for 3 days to play their first round match. They got it in today. Eubanks and King advanced to the second round in straight sets. No waiting for Atlanta's Coco Gauff. She topped Diana Yastremska of Ukraine in straight sets. This is match point. Scores were 6-2, 6-4. Gauff has yet to lose a set, and she's headed into the fourth round.
Yep. I played her in Madrid, and she plays like really well from behind. So I knew that closing the match would be difficult because she just hit some great shots. I definitely could have closed it out on my serve. I got a little bit unlucky. And then the last game, I mean, she hit like 3 or 4 balls on the edge of the line, and so it was a little bit difficult, I think, mentally to stay like focused and not get too mad. But I'm glad that I was able to push through.
She's through the first week at Paris. That's a look at sports. You have a winning weekend. Dick, sending it back to you.
All right, thanks very much. Jennifer Lopez is canceling her summer tour. Representatives for Live Nation made the announcement today. J-Lo's This Is Me Live, North American, was supposed to kick off in Orlando, Florida on June 26th. According to Live Nation, Jennifer is taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends. On social media, J-Lo says she's heartsick and devastated about letting her fans down. Fans who purchase tickets through Ticketmaster will be refunded automatically. Coming up, former President Trump is slamming his conviction and promising to appeal. We'll break down the political fallout from his guilty verdict. Atlanta News Now is coming right back.
The Late Night Laughs start at 10 on Atlanta 69. Family Feud, The Neighborhood, 2.5 Men. Tonight starting at 10 on Atlanta 69. Now, the most important stories from across the country and here at home. Atlanta, your news starts now.
Good evening, I'm Dick Brennan. A day after a jury delivered a historic guilty verdict in Donald Trump's criminal trial, he held a press conference where he spoke publicly about the conviction and his White House bid. The jury found Trump guilty on all 34 felony charges in a scheme to illegally influence the 2016 election through a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. The judge scheduled Trump's sentencing for the morning of July 11th, just days before Republicans are set to pick Trump as the 2024 nominee. Atlanta Now News reporter Marsha Kramer spoke with analysts about what the verdict means for his campaign.
I have to think that this does help Joe Biden. It punctures this notion of the Teflon Don. Number two, there is that portion of the electorate that will not vote for a convicted felon. That grows now.
Political expert David Birdsell thinks Donald Trump missed an opportunity to cash in on the national attention following his hush money conviction to really reach out to swing state voters with a positive plan for making things better. And he's not the only one.
The rallying cry should have been all of you in America who believe in the America we believe in need to get out and organize today. And he should have announced how he's going to have it done.
Instead, Donald Trump used his post-conviction appearance to throw shade at Democrats.
This is all done by Biden.
Complain that he was a victim of a rigged system and make sporadic charges about the opposition. Some were simply not provable.
They want to raise your taxes by 4 times. They want to stop you from having cars.
Some played on the fears brought about by the migrant crisis.
Congo, Africa, just released a lot of people from their prisons and jails and brought them into the United States of America. Our kids can't have a Little League game anymore because you have tents and you have migrants living on the fields. People are taking over our luxury hotels, migrants, and yet our veterans, our great veterans, are living on the streets.
I think to a certain extent you're seeing every Trump personal appearance as more and more of a missed opportunity to focus a campaign message, that they do become more shotgun, they do become more scattered.
But the contrast between Trump ranting about his conviction and Joe Biden was dramatic. The president marshaled the aura of the office, walking into the state dining room at the White House to announce a new peace plan for the Middle East. And he had this to say about the Trump conviction.
And it's reckless, it's dangerous, it's irresponsible for anyone to say this was rigged just because they don't like the verdict. The justice system should be respected. and we should never allow anyone to tear it down.
Next up on the campaign, the two are scheduled to debate on June 27th. That's just 2 weeks before Donald Trump is scheduled to be sentenced in the hush money conviction. Marcia Kramer, Atlanta Now News.
And stay with Atlanta Now News as we continue to follow the fallout from the guilty verdict in the Trump hush money trial. It's time now for the weather. Expect cloudy skies tonight. Meteorologist Tammy Souza is tracking the chance for storms this weekend. She joins us now with your forecast. Tammy.
It's going to be partly cloudy overnight tonight. We'll get some breaks in the cloud cover, but watch what happens as we head through the overnight hours. A little bit of clearing. We still have high pressure that's in the vicinity, and then those clouds roll back in, all of that ahead of our next weather maker. Now, this shouldn't bother us for our Saturday, but it will move in Saturday night, and it could bring us showers and storms as we head into our Sunday. So plan on perhaps more clouds than sunshine as you head through your Saturday. Overnight tonight, we're looking at 63. It'll be partly cloudy. Good sleeping weather out there. Winds will be light and out of the east. And then, boy, the temperatures really ramp up as we head into next week, but so does the rain. I'll time all of that out when I come back in just a couple of minutes.
All right, Tammy, thanks very much. In tonight's Money Now, the high cost of living is forcing some older Americans back into the workforce. Atlanta Now News reporter Christiane Benavides shows us how one woman went from living out her golden years to going back to the office.
All right. This is not what 74-year-old Jeanette Campbell pictured doing when she retired from teaching 12 years ago. Did you think that you'd be back at work?
Not at all. I thought I would be taking care of my grandchildren, traveling the world.
Instead, she's here, checking emails, making calls, and putting together promotional material for United Home Care, a nonprofit where she has a part-time job. Campbell realized she needed to go back to work when she just couldn't make ends meet.
I couldn't afford to pay my mortgage, and so I didn't want to be left out in the street homeless.
Alina Palenzuela is Campbell's boss.
We shouldn't have to find another job after we retire, but unfortunately, that is what has happened.
A survey by AARP found more than half of Americans aged 50 and older worry they won't have enough money for retirement.
A crisis in confidence.
Dira Venkat is Senior Vice President of Research at AARP.
Among adults yet to retire, 1 in 5 have absolutely no retirement savings.
The survey also found 1 in 4 working adults, 50 and older, expect to never retire, and 70% feel prices are rising faster than their income.
Why this is happening is, one, the lingering effects of inflation. The second aspect is housing. And a third that we are noticing is the rise in debt levels.
Campbell says being back at work has given her a new sense of purpose, but she doesn't see ever being able to fully retire. Christiane Benavides, Miami.
A U.S. appeals court has fast-tracked arguments in a challenge to a law that could lead to a ban of TikTok. The case will go before the court sometime in September. TikTok and its parent company filed a lawsuit against the Justice Department earlier this month over the law. It calls for the Chinese company to sell the app within a year, or it will be removed from American app stores. TikTok argues the law violates the First Amendment rights of users. Boeing says it will make sweeping changes to its safety procedures. The new measures are meant to pressure the public and industry regulators that the company's planes are safe to fly. Atlanta Now News reporter Laura Aguirre tells us more about the plan.
Today, in response to our request in February, Boeing provided us their roadmap for continuous improvement.
That roadmap is Boeing's new strategy designed to improve aircraft quality after a series of incidents involving its planes, including a door plug blowout aboard an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9 jet in January. Within days of that incident, an emotional Boeing CEO, David Calhoun, acknowledged the high stakes of getting safety right.
I didn't know what happened to whoever was supposed to be in the seat next to that hole in the airplane. I got kids, I got grandkids, and so do you. This stuff matters.
Federal investigators found evidence that 4 critical bolts on the door plug were missing. The FAA sent auditors to Boeing's 737 MAX plant in Renton, Washington. Their findings triggered the order to Boeing to assess, overhaul, and present the safety roadmap.
Boeing is now required to have a mandatory safety management system, which will ensure a structured, repeatable, systematic approach to identify hazards and manage risk.
Boeing has publicly taken responsibility for the Alaska Airlines blowout and says it's already taking action, including providing clearer instructions during assembly, making training improvements, and adding more tools.
We underscored that they must follow through on implementing corrective actions and transform their safety culture.
Actions the FAA will continue to monitor closely.
This plan does not mark the end of our increased oversight of Boeing and its suppliers, but the beginning of the next chapter.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The safety plan may be one of Boeing's last major milestones under CEO David Calhoun. He and two senior managers recently announced they will leave the company by the end of the year. Military event. Kate was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year and underwent chemotherapy. There had been hope that she would attend the military parade on June 8th, but her medical team has not cleared her to return to work. King Charles, who's also undergoing treatment for cancer, will attend the parade, but will ride in a car instead of on horseback. A new study shows a possible link between tattoos and forms of cancer called malignant lymphoma. Researchers in Sweden found people with at least one tattoo showed a risk of cancer more often than people with no. Critics of the study and the study's authors agree there's more research that needs to be done. The study was published in the journal eClinical Medicine. Next at 8:30, a youth organization is doing its part to assist children in need.
New research is showing how loneliness is impacting kids as young as 5. I'm Jared Hill with how experts say organizations like Girl Scouts can help.
In tonight's Money Now, it's becoming increasingly expensive to retire in the U.S. That's one reason why more Americans are choosing to spend their golden years abroad. But as Atlanta Now News reporter Yvonne Rodriguez explains, moving to another country may include a lot of red tape and even frustration.
Only 43% of adults who haven't retired yet believe they'll have enough money to live comfortably when they do retire. That's the lowest it's been since 2012. At the same time, more Americans retiring abroad shows it isn't just a dream anymore. Over the last 30 years, the number of Americans looking to settle outside of the United States has tripled, according to a 2024 Monmouth poll.
It's more affordable than it used to be.
The number of Social Security recipients living outside of the country increased from 307,000 in 2008 to more than 450,000 in 2022. Leading some countries to ease visa requirements to attract foreign retirees.
Retirees from the U.S. often bring with them money that can help support the local economy.
Jennifer Stevens of International Living says expats can find a range of benefits in overseas retirement.
The pace of life can be a lot slower in a lot of other countries than it is in the United States. That because the cost of healthcare is so much lower in a lot of other countries, people have the flexibility to sort of, breathe a sigh of relief and relax.
But getting to the simple life can be complicated. Lori Trowinski of AARP suggests people think about estate planning, currency, taxes, and their investments before making the leap.
Tax prep is very important. Planning for medical care is important. Planning for legal situations is also important.
And if you can get through the administrative hassle, Stephen says the most successful expats keep an open mind.
You have to go with the idea that it is an adventure, and you need to be open to the fact that no place is going to be just like the United States.
Experts say people who choose to make the move sometimes end up feeling isolated and lonely, leaving behind family and friends. All of this as they try to create a whole new life in a short amount of time. In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Let's turn to the weather. It was a pretty good day to spend outside. You're looking at video from Ashby Station in Vine City from early today. Meteorologist Tammy Souza joins us with your weekend forecast. Tammy.
We're going to be looking at partly cloudy skies for tomorrow. At times, it will wind up mostly cloudy, and then we'll get some peaks of sunshine, so it isn't going to be the brightest of Saturdays. It'll be nicer, though, than we move into tomorrow night or Sunday because we have some showers. They'll be scattered for tomorrow night. Sunday, scattered showers and some isolated thunderstorms. And then next week, simply unsettled. We could have a chance of a shower storm each and every day. We have high pressure that's in the region. It's centered here in the southeast, and that's actually kept a lot of this bad weather weather at bay. But watch what happens as this next system approaches. It's going to try to move into the area, not for Saturday, but by Saturday night, we'll start to see showers. The system bumps into that high pressure. It rides up and over the high pressure. So the high pressure doesn't bring us the sunshine and the clear skies, but it does prevent that heavier weather from moving in. So here we are Sunday, and we'll see scattered showers and a storm. The front lifts to the north, and then we continue to be rather unsettled as we head into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A closer look, again, we're going to have these partly cloudy skies overnight. We'll have a little clearing by 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then by the time you wake up in the morning, 8:30, the clouds start to move in again. The next system, again, sitting off to the west, so here we are at 3 o'clock. Things don't look too bad. By the time we get to 8:30 for your Saturday night, a shower or a storm, and you can see they're widely scattered into early Sunday morning. They do pick up a bit, though, as we head through Sunday morning and into Sunday afternoon. Some heavier storms to the south. That's going to be south of Macon. But across the Atlanta metro area, these are going to be isolated. Maybe a little line of some of these isolated showers and storms. At this point, none of them look severe. We're not under a severe risk for the weekend. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that. We head into our Sunday afternoon, isolated shower or storm, and that continues into Monday before the rest of that weather maker moves in. We are going to be looking at that chance, and it isn't a big chance for Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday, but boy, the rain chances really pick up by the time that we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So 63 out there for tonight. We're going to be looking at some light winds and partly cloudy skies. For tomorrow, we're looking at 78. That'll be the coolest of the next 7 days. It'll be a little breezy out there as well, and it'll be partly cloudy. We head into Sunday, 81 with a shower or storm, and then we're looking at the mid and upper 80s as we head through next week with a chance of a shower or storm all the way through Thursday.
All right, now take a look at this. Wow, an ominous storm system hanging over northeast Denver. Looks like Independence Day. Thunderstorm warning for the area last night there. Look at this. The supercell brought lightning and baseball-sized hail. The National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm warning for several parts of the area. There were no reports of major injuries. In tonight's Health Now, the Girl Scouts is tackling a serious mental health concern. The group conducted research revealing that the vast majority of girls, some as young as 5, experience loneliness. Atlanta Now News reporter Jared Hill has more.
High school sophomore Jola Strayhorn knows firsthand the struggles teens faced coming out of the pandemic.
We all had to get used to speaking to each other, in person and social interactions.
Girls were so isolated. They weren't in schools with each other.
A new survey from Girl Scouts of the USA shows 70% of girls as young as 5 experience feelings of loneliness.
And to know that it grows as they get older, and that also it really impacts their self-confidence.
The survey shows as loneliness increases, confidence drops. But friendship and meaningful connections can empower girls and build resilience. The National Alliance on Mental Illness collaborated with the Girl Scouts on this research.
Kids living in today's society are constantly being inundated with messages, and their ability to step away from all of the information that they're receiving is quite challenging.
Experts say adults should keep an eye out for changes in their child's behavior, sleeping and eating habits, and have open conversations as a family.
In order to cope with some of these challenges.
Girl Scouts of the USA offers a variety of mental wellness programs to support girls. For Jola, she says confidence starts with yourself.
Pump yourself up and to give you more confidence so you're able to know that you're just as good as anybody else.
Being a Girl Scout helps girls form lasting friendships, which the organization says is more important now than ever. Jared Hill, New York.
The survey also shows a majority of girls prefer spending less time on screens and instead being creative or spending time with family, something researchers say is worth fostering. Well, there's troubling finding about college students. New research shows post-traumatic stress disorder among college students more than doubled between 2017 and 2022. It now stands at 7.5%. An annual web-based survey known as the Healthy Mind Study says the sharp increase came as the coronavirus pandemic shut down campuses and upended the lives of college students. Coming up at 8:30, move over dogs. Another animal is offering people some comfort. It's a story that has some people saying, wait for it, holy cow. He did.
Watch an updated 48 Hours tonight at 9 on Atlanta 69.
Finally, this hour, a Pennsylvania farm has found a unique way to relieve stress. It's called cow cuddling, and apparently it's been growing in popularity since the start of the pandemic. Reporter John Shumway has more on this so-called moving experience.
They lose their minds. They love it.
What the heck are you tasting? That's Ellie, and boy did we hit it off, but let's back up.
By allowing people to come to my real working farm, it not only allows people to be up close and personal with farm animals, but it also exposes them to agriculture and where their food comes from.
About to graduate with an ag degree from Penn State, Reagan Carter saw cow cuddling or hug a cow on social media a couple of years ago and decided, I can do that.
I expected that I would put it out there, that I would, promote, oh, come to my farm, pet my cows, and that I would maybe get 10 people max to come. I never expected that in half a year I would have over 600 people coming, petting my cows, coming to my farm.
Oh, are they coming?
I've had Hawaii, Alaska, even people from Budapest, the Netherlands, Canada.
Really?
All over.
The visitors shell out $55 per person for the unique experience. Is there a time limit?
It's 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yep.
With each guest arrival, Reagan sets the scene.
So this is my family's farm. Okay. I'm the 7th generation. So my dad, you might see him come in a tractor.
The family cats are the welcoming committee, along with what Reagan calls her cow babies, Rusty and Ralph. Nearby in the barn are Mabel and Martha awaiting attention. But it's Ellie who comes to you first in the field.
So she is 4 years old, so this is as big as she'll get.
This is as big as she'll get?
Yeah.
Isn't this big enough?
It is big, yes. This is Ollie. He also loves a good brush.
There's also Opal and Bo, he has the horns, and donkeys, Dominic, Poppy, and Penny. And if you want to meet Bonnie, well, you got to go to her.
Do people find it relaxing?
All the time.
All right, so you had a little experience. What do you think?
I love it.
Yes, we love it.
We would take one.
Yeah, I would.
Oh yeah, I love when people come and say this is just so calming and peaceful, and that's one of the best compliments I can get.
And Ellie and I clearly bonded.
Oh, they love
my
it.
clothing. Yeah, I'm getting a bath. Are you giving me a bath? I think you are. No, you can't eat my jacket.
Thanks for watching Atlanta Now News. I'm Dick Brennan. We want to give you a look at Centennial Olympic Park courtesy of EarthCam. We have to deal with some storms over the next couple of days. We hope you stay safe. Have a great weekend.
Why did you buy that sledgehammer? You going to do some home improvement, or were you buying a murder weapon?
Watch 48 Hours. Up next on Atlanta 69.